Wow. We're live now.
Oh, we are?
Yes. We're live on Facebook. We're live on Soul Sisters.
Yeah.
On Instagram. Facebook people.
Yeah, we live on a lot of stuff.
YouTube people. Are there YouTube people?
Oh my God, shut up. Okay.
Are there
I'm
even
just up
YouTube?
here, child, reading some gossip. I'm just here crying, laughing. Just people crazy as I don't know what.
Oh my God. All right. Hold that thought. I got to get my wine.
Oh, you got to get your wine for the gossip.
Okay. Am I live? I don't even know. Okay. So
Yes, you
we
are.
know that's very unprofessional how we did that intro, but guess what? We're in here.
Yeah. Look.
And I've got on my purple. It's not red.
Oh,
'cause
yeah. Yeah, I didn't wear purple today.
I don't have any prints.
Me either, but I love Prince. I don't know why. Well, no, maybe I don't know. To
I have
think.
no print stuff, which is crazy. So
That is
anyway. Okay, so we actually have a show, guys. For those of you all that are tuned in. We have Yankita that maybe would like to join as well. Let's see.
Look, I look like I should be rolling with DJ Quick
crazy.
and Ice Cube right about now with my OG hat on. Thank you.
Well, we know you're wearing Prince today for sure.
Oh,
Actually,
Heather, we need
I
to
have
go.
on
Are
your
you on
daddy.
Official Soul Sisters
Yes.
Instagram?
Mhm.
Okay, I need to go live with you.
Yeah.
Let me.
Heather, I'm repping your daddy today.
Oh, okay.
You know this is my favorite.
Okay,
Yeah.
guys, I'm gonna go live on Official Soul Sisters. So
You better get that out. The white one. It's like
Okay.
a grayish, the light gray one. I have the dark gray one.
I want all of them.
Yeah. Well, I had to, almost fight for that one. So
I
you saw
know.
that.
I got my D Nice stuff today. Since we're in the
Let's
middle of
see.
talking about our producers on, guys. This is Yankita. Y'all get this chance to see her in all her glory. And we're talking about what the hell's been going on. Well, we all know we all been in the damn house. But
Yeah.
I did get my D Nice merch today. I was so excited.
Oh, you did?
That's good.
Cool.
It actually came yesterday, but it was in mailbox.
That's good.
What does it look like?
Oh, I'll get it. I'll get it. I gotta go live on Official Soul Sisters with Heather. So let me
Okay.
do that first, and then I'll get it. I gotta go live. Oh, shucks. Okay, shush. Soul Sisters with Heather. We go. So let me do that first, and then I'll get it. I gotta go live. I don't want this to be feedback though.
Yeah. So I'm trying to do it now and see if it'll work.
If it's feedback, guys, we'll just leave it separate, but we'll see how it goes.
This is so cliche what I'm doing.
What?
Oh, it's feedback?
Yeah, it seems like it is.
Let me leave and then you guys tell me whether it's
No,
still there,
it's not
okay?
that. It's just that because we went live together.
Yeah. That's all it is. That's probably why.
Oh, I got it.
Yeah.
Let me see something, y'all.
Is it
Hold
still
on.
is it still feedback?
It's just echoey. It's probably it's gonna
I
do
can
that.
hear it.
So, yeah.
Okay. So maybe we just won't do that. I'll get off.
Won't do what?
I'll get off the live with official sources.
Hi guys. Y'all had to go bye, but you still have me. You can hear her though.
Yeah, it's better. We don't want to have a Teddy Riley moment.
You already did.
Oh, Teddy.
Well, I mean,
Teddy's living his best life.
we did have the moment, but at least we rectified it really quick.
Like, yeah, we're not gonna do that.
Right.
We like, okay,
No,
we can't do
I'm
it.
baby
So that's
face
it.
with the buds.
So anyway, we got
baby face.
let's see, Pastor Joan is on. So we got a couple of people. I'll just let y'all see that. So I got my purple one. Keita, where's your purple?
That's what I said. I was kind of shocked.
I don't have it on right now, but I will have it on later for the festivities.
Okay, because there is a Prince tribute later on, right? The Grammys.
Yes, it's on CBS.
What time though? I knew it was CBS.
I want to say it's I don't know if it's 8
9
or 9. Okay. But it's on CBS.
Yeah, it comes on at 9
it has to come on at 9 because D Nice is doing the pre-show.
At 8, yeah, at 8 D Nice is on.
Okay, so y'all got all that together.
Yes.
Hey, Adrian. Yes, I got it all together. I'm not playing around.
Yes.
If y'all want to see who I'm talking to, I am on my Facebook Live, and you can see everything there. Anyway, so what else is going on?
Well, I was knee deep into, which is a totally different subject, but I was knee deep into gossip. I was sitting there listening to this crazy stuff. I'm like, boy.
Oh my God.
Because I used to watch, Basketball Wives, and there was this girl on there like 100 years ago. Her name was Imani, and so for whatever reason, it just came up on my timeline. I'm like, oh, what happened to her? So, honey, the man that left at the altar, girl, and he sat there and told the whole story from top to bottom. It was so funny. I was like, oh my God,
that's horrible.
But this is the thing, though. I feel like this is a great topic. Because the reason why is because he would not sign the prenup.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the thing. They discussed, like, apparently, I didn't know legally, in order for them to even draw up a prenup, you have to sit and mediate and agree with what's going to be on it before they even draw it up. So that was his whole deal, is that we discussed it. And 3 months before the wedding, he questioned her about it. Like, why was you signing? She was like, I'm going to sign it. 2 months before the wedding, I'm going to sign it. A month before the wedding, I'm going to sign it. He spent $400,000 on that wedding and was like,
shut up.
I said, I'm not marrying you. He was like, I take care of a lot of people, so we're not going to do that. And he said there was no wedding, that he went in his room and they said he cried like a baby. He was like, they said it was snot and whatever, but then they just turned up and partied after he got over it. But that story was so crazy. I was like, I just feel like we should do a story about it, because I don't understand as a woman, if you don't agree with the whole, and they were dating for years before he even asked her to marry him. So obviously you knew you were going to sign a prenup. Why even go through all of that? Like, clearly he was not playing with you about the prenup. So why even, like, they literally flew to, the wedding was in Texas. They didn't even live in Texas.
Wow.
Why would you do all of that? Like, he said the whole time she was planning, he kept asking her about it. What you thought? Obviously he's not forgetting. Well, we know that.
Wow.
He's not forgetting. So you
definitely have been in the gossip.
Child, that was just really intriguing to me. Like, why would you go through all of this and not sign the prenup? And she had 2 kids. I don't get chicks sometimes.
Clearly, she was not ready.
Clearly. Well, Yankita, I know you don't want to stay on, because I know you got stuff to do, but we definitely appreciate you coming on to make sure that everything is everything. And we also want to let all of our listeners know that we will we may allow some folks to come on, but you got to comment. You got to let us know. And if you comment, I may send you a little invite. We'll see. But
Yeah, because y'all gonna hang up on you.
I'm trying to get Morris Hayes of the New Power Generations, Prince's backup band, to hit us up and tell us a funny Prince story.
okay.
And or
You know what I do want to know?
Have him come
Brown.
in.
I thought about him the other day. Some more
What?
gossip.
Really?
I was reading how Apollonia went off on Sheila E. And I was like,
Oh, listen. I'm gonna let you talk to the people that may
I'm
have
like,
written
what
it.
is that
I'm
about?
gonna try and get him, or either I'm gonna see if Brown Mark is available and y'all can have at it.
Yeah, because I was
Okay.
All right,
like,
so
what is going on?
we're gonna have later, guys. For everybody who doesn't know, Heather and I are gonna share Prince stories and just do a little tribute to him, of course, and then we'll have some people on if we get
All right.
them. But right now, Keita's gonna go bye. We'll see.
Bye.
I'm out with my West Coast vibe. Thank you, and I do have on Prince Forever. Do not forget.
Yes.
Always.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Anyway, bye.
Bye.
So,
No, I'm having a Teddy Rock.
some of the main hot topic is, and I had been reading since you and I had spoken earlier about, people are really like, I signed a petition. So in case anyone does not know, the governor of Georgia has decided to start opening businesses Friday and then Monday. And people are very upset about this. And there's literally petitions going around. People have posted his number. So if you disagree with it and are worried about yourself and your loved ones, I suggest you go online. There's information there where you can sign a petition or you can call the governor's office because it just doesn't make common sense. And then it begs to you start questioning everything that was said because, looking back on some of the statements, I don't understand how you post guidelines that need to happen before you can start opening up the economy.
Yeah, it's
you haven't read any of those guidelines, and you just out of nowhere, less than a week later, say that you're opening up the economy. And then it's like a tattoo shop and a massage parlor. Like, these are necessities for people to live their lives. I don't get it. And so I wasn't surprised at the age. But it's also like I saw Keisha Lance Bottoms on CNN. Like, it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
It's embarrassing because you have, like, we all have friends in other states asking, like, what is wrong with your governor? You guys be safe. And I think it's so irresponsible and just really, like, disgusting.
Yeah.
And I feel like us as African American people and people of color, like, this is like the Tuskegee experiment all over again. Like, because they open up things that African Americans tend to gravitate to. And so y'all are just going to test it out and see what happens with Black people.
Right.
Like, that literally is this what we're doing. We're just going to test it out and let the chips fall where they may with Black people. I just think, I don't know.
Yeah, it's crazy because, I do feel like Caucasian people like to get their hair done. They go to salons too. They go to nail salons. They go get pedicures. There actually are white barbershops. It actually was right around the corner from where you used to live on West Paces Ferry. And I used to work over there, a freaking barbershop right next to the pharmacy. So there are white barbershops. But I get it. The thing is that people aren't taking the whole thing serious. Most people aren't taking the whole thing serious, but the people that are going to listen to him aren't going to take it serious, and they're going to go back out and God knows where we're going to be.
I just think that I feel like when you discuss with people and people feel like their civil liberties have been trampled on, it would be different if what my neighbor did not affect me. But the reality of it is what I do affects the person next to me, even if I don't know them.
Yeah.
What I do affects the person working at Kroger. It affects the person working at Publix. It affects the person if I choose to. Like, how are you doing social distancing and staying 6 feet away from somebody and getting your nails done? My arms are not so long. That affects other people. So that means that the choices that and that's the thing that when you really think about it, like I'm around.
But it's happening. Let me say this though. That same thing is happening in the grocery stores. So it's the same exact thing is happening. Okay. I do know that they're gonna. I mean, he's talking about that they're gonna have to implement certain things. I don't know what that means. What, one person at a time, sanitizing behind each other. I don't know what that means. But when you go in the grocery store, I know the Publix up the street from me. You can, they've got it marked, right? I guess a lot of them have the same thing. You got to go down and up and blah, 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 blah. People don't do. Literally, this guy was coming down. I was like,
not following directions.
Not following directions right here. I mean, I was going to go past somebody. So I asked him, I said, do you mind if I go past you? Knowing that if I go past them, I'm less than 6 feet. Mm-hmm. So that's happening in the grocery store. Okay.
Yeah.
So we have to go there. That's essential. Going to get your nails done and your hair done, although all of us want to do it, is not essential. I don't understand how implementing that in that environment is helpful. If you're going to do it somewhere where it's essential.
Yeah.
Like
but
the grocery store.
Outside of just the health risks, literally, if people are laid off and you are counting on a stimulus check, is going to get your nails done really what you need to be doing with that money? No. Like that to me is, it's priorities. Like that's not important right now.
No.
Food, lights, gas. You know what I mean? Those things are important. So why would you, at this point when we don't know what's going to happen, take the money that you do have and go get a charge?
Yeah. Yeah.
I just don't understand the logic behind it, because it is illogical. And that's the thing that is so disappointing. And I see some people like, I'm ready to live. I mean, okay, all right.
They ready to go out. You don't know if you're gonna live. Wait about 2 weeks. So Friday is April 24th, right? So 2 weeks from that is May 8th or May something?
Yeah.
Something like that.
First week in May. We'll see.
We'll see if the cases go back up.
And I saw a health worker, and she literally was so angry, and she was almost in tears because she discussed how she is putting her life on the line on a daily basis. Yep. And she's like, this is a big F you to us.
Yep.
And it's not just us, it's the people that are cleaning after we do everything we do. They have to go in and clean these places. And it is.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. These people have families. So these nurses can't be around their husband or their children because they've been on a 12-hour shift with people who we know for the most part are positive and literally seriously ill because they're hospitalized for it. And she said, when I get into my home, her husband has a bucket by the door. She has to take all of her clothes off and put it in the bucket at the door.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have everybody taking off their shoes at least. Of course, nobody's really going out except for me and my husband, but I'm not even really going out that much. I mean, but still, even when I come in, I don't do that. But that's a good idea to take off your clothes, but they talking about wash your hair and do all this. Like, I mean, I don't know. I guess you can do those. You can do that as well if you think that you should. I don't know, but I know going out and what they're talking about opening up. I mean, restaurants gonna be back open on Monday, Heather.
Well, they won't see me. You ain't got never.
And how are they gonna be open?
I don't understand why you can't order to go like you've been doing.
Right.
What I mean,
but this is the deal. If you're going to start opening, like I said, essential things, maybe start with the grocery store, maybe see how that goes with a certain amount of people, blah, 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 blah. But okay, Even if you go beyond that and you go finally to the restaurant, so you get to that point, you can't just open it up and be like, all right, we're going to start, and it's going to be the same. You're going to separate these tables. What is it going to look like? Because I'm not going back to the restaurant to sit right next to the next booth with somebody.
Exactly.
That I have no idea if they're sick or not. See, are you going to test people, take their temperature when they come in? Like, what's going to happen?
But I feel like, and I guess that's my question to you as a medical professional. I am fully aware that long term, something has to be done. We all can't shelter in place forever. That's just the black and white of it.
Right.
And so from a standpoint of, you know, because this is dissipate the warmer it gets for a little while. But then come November, you know, some of these things will still pop up. And I feel like from a medical standpoint, from a planning standpoint, what can be done outside of a vaccine? Because we're not going to have a vaccine for at least a year, at least this time next year. And if it was this time next year, I should tell people don't take that. Like, well, sorry.
The vaccine actually may come sooner than you think. Because it's been fast tracked. Whether or not you want to take it, like you said, is a different story. But they're working on other treatment. They're working on another drug treatment. I mean, what else are you gonna do?
So that's our option is a treatment, like some medicine.
Right. That's what I'm saying. They're working on other drug treatments. So they have one investigational that's already in the mix. That they're using on people now. They're using it here in Atlanta. Atlanta is one of the testing facilities out in Fayette, Piedmont Fayette. And so they're using it on a small amount of people that get hospitalized. Obviously, hydroxychloroquine is being used. They're getting ready to come out with the report. Dr. Sanjay Gupta was mentioning it. They're going to come out with the report about what have people seen? What are the side effects? You know, I think it was Spain, Brazil, Sweden, somewhere else stopped using it because of the toxic side effects for the treatment of coronavirus. So
I do feel like in this sense, and I don't know from a medical standpoint, I do feel like there are tons of people that are already on this medication. So what were the protocols that they went through before they could even figure out if they were not going to be sick from lupus? Because I have a friend who's been on it for 10 years, although she knows she needs to get off of it because of the long-term side effects of it. But so there's obviously some hope in that, but how do you...
Well, let me say a couple of things to what you said. First thing is, you're absolutely right. This drug, if you're giving it to a patient, okay, so before I talked about that there's something called GCPD, right? That if African-American or the Mediterranean descent male can possibly have this this deficiency. And if they have this deficiency, then, and they take hydroxychloroquine, they could have really, really bad side effects, right? My guess is that they're probably not testing people for that right now. Maybe going forward they will. If they continue to use hydroxychloroquine, they may not use it. You know, they got other drugs in the works to see if it'll work better than this drug with less side effects. And then there's also the other thing that people may not take anything. It's a virus, so they may just ride it out. But this is
I don't have a problem with, because I don't have a problem with people not taking anything or taking regular meds, because it's a virus and it doesn't affect people. 80% of the people are not hospitalized and it doesn't affect them like this. Clearly, take you some Theraflu and sit your ass down until you feel, you know what I'm saying, you feel better or whatever the case may be. But I just think long term, you know, for those that are adversely affected and you know, almost immortally affected, like those are the people that you really need to, you know, do as much research as possible, because I feel like people, I mean, I think people have a problem with people like stay home. It's like everybody ain't swimming in money. Like, I want to work too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
well, I think long term, what long term what it looks like is you It's like you said, it's a virus. So if you get to the point where you have to take medication, then you decide whether or not you're going to take the hydroxychloroquine. Like Adrian's over here saying that she heard it wasn't working. It's not going to work for everybody. And then some people are going to have side effects. And on top of that, what doses are they using? See, when you give it to somebody for lupus, you giving it over a long period of time. You treating coronavirus. I don't even know what the treatment protocol is because I'm not on the team, but my guess is that it's probably higher because it's a short period of time. So
that's
probably
what my friend said, that it takes a month or so for it to even get in your system. So therefore, these trials are not really, it would be at least, and they're giving these people this in emergency cases. So a lot of the times it's not going to work like that because they need to take it for at least a month to
they need to be on it for probably a good 14 days to really see what is going to happen. But the way they're going to get past that is increasing the dose, and increasing the dose increases the side effects and the toxicity of it. So it's a lot of things we don't know, but that study is going to come out. So let's keep that on the horizon. New drugs are coming out that people are going to possibly take. There will be a vaccine at some point. My thing is that the vaccine, honestly, guys, will probably change year after year because you just think about, they never did a SARS vaccine. You know why? Because once we pulled back and it went down, they said, forget it. We're not even going to do the vaccine. But guess what? If we'd have had the vaccine, would it have helped against this one? They say it mutated and it's so different that it probably wouldn't even help to the extent that we would have wanted it to. So there's a lot of ifs. There's a lot to learn about this drug. And people are worried about shortness of breath. Dr. Gupta, again, came out. And of course, he ain't the only one. A lot of people are talking about this. There's other things that affect you. I mean, other areas. The heart is being really affected. And they're not understanding necessarily why some people are having blood clots and then having a heart attack or maybe having a stroke. And then they're not understanding why some people are having the loss of sense of taste and smell and the dizziness and headaches. That's different than some of this other stuff. So understanding all that is important before we go and get treatment, because you don't know what you're treating. If you just say it's in the lungs, and do you find out down the road that it affects the heart just as bad, and that's why young people are dying because they may have something going on with their red blood cells, then you got to know that before you put out a drug, because otherwise it's going to only be effective for some people.
Yeah. Well, I guess I feel like it's equivalent to, like, when you think of the flu, you think, oh, I got the flu, I'm sick. But when you really break those numbers down, even though this is 3 times more contagious, it's mind-blowing when you look at the amount of people that actually passed away from the flu. Mm-hmm. And so I just feel like there has to be some studies as to why some people are really affected by it and some people are not. And I don't know, I see a lot of people, the only thing we can do is to really beef up our immune systems. Like, clearly, that's a problem. But we spend a lot of time out here eating everything we see, partying, drinking, smoking, and those things are serious. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's the thing that, as you're doing it, you don't take it seriously like that. Theoretically, I need to be healthy. But when you really break it down to, the flu could kill me because my immune system's so low, or coronavirus could kill me because my immune system is this, that. Like, I think that, especially
or pneumonia.
Pneumonia, yes.
We don't even talk about that. Like, I get both of those. Pneumonia vaccine is good for 5 years. The flu vaccine, we got to get a new one every year. The strain changes. I suspect that the coronavirus is probably going to change. Either way, you're probably going to have to take a vaccine probably once a year, once it gets the kinks out, and it's probably going to be another part of our daily life. Because we don't want to get to this point again. Nobody want to get to this shut down the economy point. Nobody.
Yeah.
This is not ideal.
To understand that people who are saying stay inside, it does not mean that we, sitting on a pile of money, like we don't want nobody to go outside and work because we want to work. That's Ricky Smiley said. Ricky Smiley's like, look, he said, I had to make some decisions because everybody's life is set up differently. You live according to in your means, hopefully. You know what I mean? And so for him, he was saying everybody had to take a pay cut. Like, it ain't sweet. Like, he's about, no matter how you cut it, no matter who you are and how much money you have, there is no money coming in right now for a lot of people, and that's the problem.
No,
And
that's
so,
and that's
saying
that's
today,
the
that doesn't
ultimate.
mean that we're, you know, oblivious to the fact that people are out here going to food banks and getting food and stuff like that. But it's like, well, you won't be alive to eat. So,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? It's just, and I know those are hard choices. I just don't want our community to be the guinea pig to go on out there and get your hair cut and go to the barbershop and see what happens. Because that's really kind of what it feels like. And it just,
Yeah, we can't
get
do
up
that.
on
We
it
can't
and go against it.
Yeah, we can't be that naive and to listen to that advice. That advice is not what the medical community is telling us, to go back out into the world in whatever kind of capacity right now, unless it's essentially stuff, places that you need to go. I still think it's frustrating to have to sit at home. We all going stir crazy. We all want to get back out. But let me tell you something. I'd much rather sit at home for another couple of more weeks, another month, or whatever, because we've been in for a while, so we may not have to be in as long as we think. But we still got another couple of more weeks, maybe even a month, before we can get back really out there, and then slow. There's a lot of measures that I know I'm gonna do regardless of what they tell me, because I'm gonna have on a mask, and I don't give a damn who talk about it. When I go out, I'm gonna have on a mask, because there's so many asymptomatic people, and we don't know, and it's nobody's fault. If you don't know and you give it to me, then you don't know.
Yeah.
And you can possibly kill me or somebody else. So I'm not gonna take those.
Person, not you, somebody else you come in contact with. That's the thing that's crazy. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. That's the epitome of, you know, we are our brother's keepers. That's just really black and white of it. And I just think, I just hope that people are, you know, responsible, and like, because I remember clearly, like, I know when my last show was like the first part of March. I did. And going into that show, and this is before we knew as much as we know now, I remember going to that show like, ooh.
Right. I remember you talking about that show, actually.
People here, like, hold up. I mean, we had hand sanitizer. We were putting stuff on our microphones. Like, nobody can talk on our microphones. Like, because at those kinds of things, of course, we're not in the crowd, but they like to get up there. They want to talk to you. They want to hug you. Oh my God, I love you. So that in itself, and then I am a gym rat. And I remember going to the gym, and the parking lot was packed. And this is after I got back. So it had to be maybe second week, you know, the end of the first week of March. And the gym was packed. And I thought to myself, nah, not so much. I'm not going to the gym. I'll be exercising in my living room.
Because I think you stopped going to the gym even before I'd stopped going.
Yeah.
Because I stopped the Thursday before our governor made the announcement. He made the announcement on Friday, and I stopped that Thursday.
I stopped a week or so before that, because I just really thought it's already a petri dish anyway.
Yeah.
It's just the nature of what it is. So my thing is that all this grass outside and everything, and you want to open up a gym.
Yeah. He's retarded. Like, we're not even gonna go there with him. But another thing that they just did is the small business stimulus program. We really need to get into that. We don't need to get into it this week, but we need to digest a little bit more once we figure out what it is. But that's gonna be a biggie, because there's a lot of people that have applied.
I ain't seen nothing.
And didn't get the money because the money ran out. And so now they just approved another 500 million or whatever it was.
But whatever. When you're giving companies that don't need it, like Ruth Chris, $20 million, who is going to Ruth Chris Steakhouse for $100 dinner right now? That's just mind blowing to me. Or Shake Shack, which they had 10 million and they gave it back. But you have these small businesses. That's the backbone of our economy. But you choose not to give it to them, the small businesses, and give it to these businesses that clearly don't need that kind of money. So I don't know anybody, and I know a lot of people have small businesses. Nobody that I know with a small business got any money.
It'll be interesting if any of y'all know any small business people that got money, or please comment below. Or if you know somebody that applied that didn't get money, well, Heather, we know she's one of them, didn't get money. And then now we got this new thing that came out. The Senate just passed it, so we'll see what this happens, and then we'll be able to talk about this some more the next time, seeing what's going on, seeing if people really gonna get money from this. Too, I mean, you got to give people the money. I don't know where it's gonna go if you don't give it to them.
Well, they're giving it to the big corporations that don't need it. I mean, that's essentially where the money went. Like $20 million to Ruth Chris Steakhouse. What? And the thing about it is I see a lot.
Well, they didn't need it. They didn't need it, but I mean, like it's still people buying stuff from there.
Yeah, but okay, when you really think along the lines of what our economy consisted of, most people are living paycheck to paycheck.
Right.
So the reality of it is nobody's going to Ruth Chris Steakhouse to buy $100 steak. We're not doing it right now. Everybody working.
Yeah.
So, but you still had a surplus before this ever even happened. So why do you need $50 million?
Yeah, it's too much. I do commend Shake Shack for giving the money back, but I guess they weren't gonna give it back till they should secure the rest of their money. So I guess, but at least
they said that they had money for basically they had a rainy day fund, like a lot of people. But when I see these that's not what they said. They said that they had secured, when they finally secured the money, they decided to give it back. So they secured money. So they was applying for the small business thing and applying or trying to get money some other kind of way, probably some private investor. That came through after the money came through that they gave from the government. So they felt bad. Then they gave it back. That's a plus that they felt bad. I'm kind of shocked that they felt bad.
So they felt bad and gave it back. So I think that's important. But we're going to keep on going. We're going to go out, y'all. We're going to actually try to have a little bit of a show. And since we are talking about Prince today, we're gonna go out with a little Prince, and let's see, we're gonna go out to some Purple Rain.
Not Purple Rain. We'll be back.
Why not? Can you hear? What you want to hear?
Oh, I don't know. It means Prince. It don't matter to me. You can pretty much play anything with that. It's Prince.
You can't hear it for real?
Yeah, I don't hear Prince. So I don't think they hear it.
No, they definitely can't hear it. If you can't hear it. But what we're getting ready to do is take a little break. So I'll take a break from IG, guys. Catch us on Facebook because we're gonna have some people on there. So go to my Facebook Live and we'll be talking about some stories about Prince. So I'll
just give you one of these. Bella is, of course, taking the video.
Can you hear it? Yeah. Okay. So let's try to find something else. Not Purple Rain. Got one. Hey, Washington, D.C. Ocean too old. Maybe you're just like my mother. She's never satisfied. Why do we scream at each other? This is what it sounds like when girls cry.
Go ahead, y'all.
Feel how it trembles inside. You got the butterflies all tied up. Don't make me chase you. Even though that's right. Keep us back there. Alone in a world so cold. Maybe I'm just too demanding. Maybe I'm just like my father. Too old. Maybe I'm just like my mother. She never satisfied. Why do we scream at each other? This is what it sounds like when girls cry. Leave me back there. Oh, this world is so cold. World is so cold. Maybe I'm just too baby. Maybe I'm just like you know. Really cool. Maybe I'm just like my baby. I'm just like my mother. She never satisfied. Why do we scream at each other? This is what it sounds like when girls cry.
Heather, you ready to come back? Yeah.
All right, guys. You know I had to cut Prince off because he's gonna go on here like James Brown and everybody else. So we're back on Soul Sisters, and I figure we take a little moment and talk about some Prince stories. Heather, you got a Prince story?
Well, I've never met Prince, but I actually saw, which is kind of shocking. I was trying to go through my archives, like, have I actually not met him? Like, I've met so many people. Couldn't believe that I didn't meet him. That's like crazy. And I'm almost certain I did not.
Yeah.
But
I've never met him either.
really, isn't that crazy? That's
never met
craziness. When you think about your father or my father, I'm like, how did I never meet him? Like, I don't. So
Never met him. Went to 2 concerts. I do have my story, but go ahead. Go ahead.
I went to a concert, but so this is back in the day when I was I don't even know if I was out of high school, but downtown at Jack the Rapper when I had no business being down there and trying to be cute. And Prince was performing, and I remember I had on this patent leather bra. And who do I run into first? My daddy. Like,
oh my goodness.
I was like, hey, Dad. Like, I know he like, why she got a bra on?
See there.
He was with Barry White. And I cannot find that picture anywhere. I took a picture in between him and Barry White. And he was just like, what are you doing? And I was like, networking at like 18. Like, girl. I was like, he's going to kill me. Like, he's literally going to kill me. I don't know how we got in that concert, but it was in a ballroom.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So that in of itself, and I was on the first row in a ballroom looking at Prince. It was the most magnificent, crazy, like thing I've ever seen in my life. Like I was in awe. And at this point, I've seen a lot of people to this day. Like I performed on stage with a lot of people. But that was the most incredible concert I had ever seen. When in that kind of setup, it's in a ballroom. So I'm literally like 10 feet away, like, oh my God. It was so awesome. It was so awesome. I still got in trouble about that patent leather bra. My dad was like, man, not grown.
Well, so like in about like you, I didn't get a chance to meet him, but I did get a chance to go, but it was much, much later. I was actually a pharmacist. I was living in Houston and he was coming to Houston to a concert. And I forget how I had somebody reach out and try to get some tickets, and he gave me tickets and gave me backstage passes to come and meet him. And you know how it is. I don't know, those of y'all who don't know how it is going to them concerts, you got to get there before the concert is over. If you want to meet somebody backstage, you cannot be waiting and try to get in there and all this other stuff because it's not going to happen. So anyway, I was like, okay, let's go. We got to go back there now. It just so happened, he was like, we waited for him, but it just didn't happen, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. And then the next time was April 20th or April 20th. Was it no, it was the 14th when he did his concert here in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And that was the last time obviously that was the last time anybody had ever seen him in concert, but that was during his last concert here in Atlanta, and I went with Deanna, and I never ever in a million years thought that would be his last concert. But of course I remember him being sick and the whole, the plane had to do an emergency landing and all that stuff. And I remember him having to postpone the original date. I don't know if you guys remember that. He had to postpone the original date in Atlanta. And so this was like a second one because they said he had the flu. And so he ended up coming on, and I was just thankful to be able to see him. I mean, of course, it wasn't like the original concert. It was just the piano, but it was still Prince.
Yeah. I mean, it's Prince. So however you can see him, if you didn't get to, I feel bad for you because like that's literally, and I've been to concerts. Like I've been to Michael Jackson, Tina Turner, James. Well, I ain't even been to your daddy concert. I was in the concert. But the point is, I've been with a lot of great people, and Prince, hands down, probably the best that I've ever actually been able to see. Yeah. And I think that it's such a shame when you lose that kind of greatness. Yeah. But guys, we on loan. So
there ain't none of us promised tomorrow. Well, I wanted to bring somebody else's perspective. So we have Mick. Mick, are you there?
Hi.
Can you see us?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
I have patent leather bra on.
A patent leather bra. Well, thank you for coming on, Soul Sisters.
I got my cat too, so he keeps walking back and forth, so we might as well just like show him. See the tail go back and forth,
He's cute. So you are a very, very famous DJ, a all-around great guy, but also father of Miles. I think that's your number one claim to fame.
Number one thing, my kid. I love him. He's the best.
And just an entrepreneur and all around, like I said, great guy. And I've been attending some of your lives that you've been having, so I appreciate you still having those and staying us and keeping us entertained. But I ran across one of your videos that you have from when you were speaking about your last time or your time playing for Prince.
Yeah, my only time. Yeah.
Your only time. And I was wondering if you could just share that with everybody, because I think it's kind of cool.
I'll tell you a little bit of the longer version of that.
Okay.
I got a call one night. It was around like 4 or 5 o'clock, and from a friend of mine that did private events here in New York. And he was like, "Are you working tonight?" And I'm like, "No." He's like, "You want to do a party?" And I'm like, "No." Like my kid was like, I think my kid was probably, what year did Prince die? 17? What year did Prince die?
2016.
16. Okay. So then, so this, wow, maybe my kid wasn't even born yet, because my kid was born in 15. But I remember I think he was pregnant. Well, he wasn't pregnant, but his mom was pregnant. Anyways, I remember thinking I don't want to do a party. But the guy was like, "No, you should do the party." And I'm like, I don't want to do a party. And he's like, the money. He's like, the money sucks too. And I'm like, I really don't want to do the party. He's like, "No, you want to do the party." And I'm like, "Okay, I'll do the party." He's like, "So here's the catch. Do you have a black tablecloth?" And I'm like, "No, I don't have a black tablecloth." He's like, "Well, you need to bring a black tablecloth." This isn't Prince's friend. This is like my friend. Like, so
okay.
But it sounds like some weird Prince shit, right? Like it's right.
Yeah. That's what I was like, what? Black tablecloth?
It's like a whole, he's like, "I can't tell you what for." So I don't have a black tablecloth. He's like, "Come to this restaurant at 8 o'clock and bring a black tablecloth." And I'm just like, he wouldn't tell me why. Right. And so I go to Target. This is back when New York only had one Target, and they don't have black tablecloths. I don't think nobody. So I got a black bed sheet, like a dark navy bed sheet. I don't know why I had to get this. So I get on the train. And I go to the restaurant, and they're like, "Oh yeah, so Prince rented out the restaurant tonight, and he's doing a party." And I was like, "Oh shit!" Like, okay, I'm glad I said that, And but the problem was he didn't want to do it like at a It was just for his crew and his dancers and his band, so it wasn't. They didn't want to do it at a club, and it was earlier, So they wanted to just do it in an obscure place, so they rented a restaurant.
Right.
And so they didn't have a DJ booth. So they were going to use the catch was, if you bring a tablecloth, you could, I can't make this shit up. We could cover the salad bar, and make it a DJ booth. It didn't look like a salad bar. This isn't like Bob Evans. I don't want you to, I don't want to lower, it was a very gorgeous restaurant, but they had salad-y, like a buffet kind of thing, I guess. That's a better word, not a salad bar. And it was like, if you don't have that, we have to put you back further and somewhere that's nice. But if you want to be closer, we got to cover this up. So you need to bring this table. So that's why I needed the black. So I get there, and it turns out they found a better black tablecloth than my navy bed sheet. Set it all up. I start DJing. It was 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Nobody's there. I brought one friend with me. I snuck him in with me. He left. It was just me DJing in a room. At 10:01, they all walk in. And I was like, "Holy crap! This is really happening." And so, the restaurant filled up in 1 second, and everyone's in the booths, and they're just eating, and they're just chilling. And I'm playing, and I'm just I don't know really what to play. I know what to play, but there are certain people in music history, you guys would know better than anybody, that you kind of, as a musician, you get a little more up to play for, right? And he was one of them. Yeah. And so, I remember the first thing I did, I played I was randomly doing some 90s hip hop, and I played Salt and Pepper Shoot, and they had that line, "Like Prince said, you a sexy mother." And I remember he was sitting there eating the mashed potatoes from that other part of the story on the top of the booth, and I remember I looked when I played it, I was like, "Oh, should I play this song because it says his name?" But I remember he kind of liked it, and then the story that you heard. So I started Googling. Thank God the restaurant had Wi-Fi, and I started Googling, I guess my phone would have worked, but for the story sounds much better for the restaurant, right? And I don't even think it's business anymore, and they owe me money. So anyway, so So I find this song. It says Prince's favorite 2 artists were James Brown and Michael Jackson, and I'm sure there's a bunch of other ones too. But like as far as like icons, you know, Prince probably knew all we never even knew of. But like it was those 2, and I'm like, okay. So I start playing some James Brown, and I start playing some Michael, and that's pretty easy. It's pretty low hanging fruit for DJs, you know. And then I find my computer. Which is the story that I told earlier. I found in my computer a mashup that some DJ made, putting "The Way You Make Me Feel" over one of your dad's songs. I don't even remember what I should find. I don't even know if I still have it in the computer. I should find it and send it to you just so you can have it. And
they probably ripped us off anyway. I'm sure they ain't paid for it. So.
Yeah, well, you know, it was something DJ made just for other DJs. It wasn't like, you know, it wasn't
right. Okay.
You know, and anyways, I find it. And I'm just like, you know, I'm gonna play it. Hopefully, I was like, I hope it's good. I've never played it before. And any DJ will tell you, like, we all kind of trade songs and stuff, or somebody will send you something and you download it to a computer and you forget it's there. And then one day when you're looking for shit, it's just like, where did all these songs come from? How do I have these songs? And this was one of those times. And I'm like, is the file corrupted? Like, I've never heard this in my life. And like, you know, I don't know who sent it to me. It wasn't like one of my good friends that sent it to me. It could have been something I downloaded off of like some bad. You
were taking some serious chances playing for Prince.
Serious chances, right? And so I play it, and he loved it. And he was sitting in this little booth with his mashed potatoes, like you know, like playing it. And then, like as I was saying,
I can see him on the back of a booth.
Yeah, he was sitting up. He was sitting on the banquette or whatever the thing is called, and so he's liking it. And this, like I said in the story, I had to make this unethical decision of like, do I fake like I'm doing this live? Because because he was getting really into it, and so like the more I got into it, like he got more into it. Right. And I want him to be into it because that's a big ass fucking glass. I'm very proud of you for that. Or is that I don't know if that's the angle of this site you're using. That's amazing. That's amazing. I like that. When I meet you in person one day, we gotta have a glass that big, okay? I've never seen anything like that. And so I'm getting really into the mix, and I'm like, you know, I the joke I use is like the fake EDM guys where they're just pressing all the buttons and like, you know, like, they're doing all this stuff. And you know, he's a performer, so the more I'm doing, the more he's getting into it. And then, you know, the party was great after that. It was like the moment that like turned you know, everyone started dancing and we had a good time. Then afterwards, he came up and he shook my hand and he said, "You did your thing." And I was like, that was to me was like my like, I mean, it has to be one of the greatest moments of my life.
Yeah, it had to be.
And then, yeah, the bodyguard guy that came up afterwards, and he was and there's so many other funny parts of the story. I'm going to write a book one day and put all these stories in the book. But he, after everybody dies, because I can't put him in there when they're alive, because like they're all like, you can't. Well, now you can. But I don't want anybody else to die. But I'm just saying, like, you know, he came up. Then his bodyguard guy came up after, and he was just like, he never does that. And
wow!
I was like, thanks. You know,
that is awesome.
And then they literally walked out. And then he walked out, and literally, like, the place, it was magical, man. Like when they walked in, it was like 100 people walked in 1 second, and then 100 people walked out in 1 second. And there's one.
Hit it and quit it,
huh?
Nick. You got to learn how to hit it and quit it, son. Hit it and quit it.
Oh my god!
And there's one other funny thing too. He there was moments where they only danced to their music, like their internal Prince stuff. So they obviously had all like stuff that didn't come out.
Oh, right.
At one point, I'm playing like bangers, and like nobody gives like a fuck like at all. And I'm just like, oh my god, this is horrible. And then they came up, and there was an aux cord plugged into the mixer, and they had like, I guess at the time, like an iPod or something, or a laptop. I don't know. It was before streaming was super prevalent, and not that Prince was never on streaming stuff anyways, but like, you know, so that's cool, right? And he played, man, his bodyguard guy played like a song off the computer or whatnot. It was dope. I wish I, you know, had I known, I would have recorded the shit. But like, you know, it was so good. And they played it, and literally, it was like, I'm trying to think of like, imagine some like TV show where like all the mannequins come to life. It was like everybody just like came to life, ended up on the dance floor. They're all vibing, rocking out to this Prince song, and then like the minute the song is over, like it was like everybody was like shut back down.
He like boom, boom.
Walk past the table. Like, you know, I'm playing like J, Big, like I'm playing like, you know, like, and then he comes back up like a half hour later with like the Holy Grail laptop, and he plugs it back in, and he plays one more of those songs, and it's like everyone's just like wakes back up. And the funniest other part, I'll tell you this too, and then it's like my computer, my MacBook is custom, and like the Apple logo is removed, and it says Mick, and it lights up. They carve it out the back. It's like great if you're a DJ. It sucks if you're not a DJ. You just look like an idiot. With your name really big and lights, you know. And but when you're DJing, it's great on the airplane and like Starbucks. You just look, it's very, very narcissistic. And he didn't like, or I don't even know if that level got to him, but like the bodyguard guy came up to me, and he was like, "You're gonna have to turn off your sign." And I was like, "My sign? What sign are we talking about? You know, it's not like Vegas where you got like, you know, your name and all that stuff, or my closet." Like it was like my computer, and he was like, so finally he, you know, but they're very stoic, you know, like, your sign must turn off, and I'm just like, bro, like what the fuck sign are we talking about, you know? And he's like your sign, and he points at the computer, and I was like, oh shit, like I'm like, well, I love you, but if we turn off the sign, and ironic, this guy saying sign is like Prince saying sign. Like,
turn off the computer.
I mean, but you know, he's like, you know, he was a sign, he was a symbol. So I'm just like if I turn off my logo, like the computer goes, which means the party goes. So once we got that through, you know, it was a restaurant. And keep in mind, this is like there was not a lot of options. So they go get, man, let me see if I even have something different.
Oh Lord.
They go get like a, they go get like a the maitre d' book.
Oh, okay, yeah, from the restaurant.
Yeah, from the front, from the, you know, when you walk in. Yeah. And so, you know, my computer's here, my sign, and they go get the maitre d' book because it was the only thing they could find, and they open it up like slightly, so it's like it's props open, and they lean it in front of my computer because because they didn't want to see the sign that said Mick. And
that is crazy.
Yeah. You think that was a Prince thing, or you think that was Prince?
I mean, maybe the guy had a friend named Mick that owed him some money, and he had like PTSD. I don't know. I would imagine that if I had to guess, I can't imagine that Prince was sitting there eating his mashed potatoes thinking about my sign, you know. But what I can imagine from dealing with like famous people or rich people or just like assholes or some combination of all three is that what I find it, and I'm the same way when I DJ, like if I'm around stuff like this, like I problem solve preemptively, right? So if I'm DJing somewhere and I see the owner of a club or like, and I know that like he's always this and he's always that, and there's always some issue that doesn't even really exist, but to him it does. Like there's a guy I used to DJ for that would always complain about the bass, no matter what. So,
I know, Heather, you gotta have one of those stories.
Yeah. So whenever he would walk in, even if the bass wasn't loud, I would lower the bass because I just don't want to hear it, you know. So I would imagine that, and that was just this guy. So I would imagine if you work for like a Prince, if you have anything he ever said to you ever that potentially you got on your ass for, you're probably preemptively solving that. So if he was probably just like, man, I just really don't like, you know, like breath mints. They probably took all the mints out of the restaurant before he got there just so he doesn't. Because you don't want to piss him off. So you probably just like, you know, you probably just have to keep a list of everything this guy ever said ever and just preemptively solve it, you know, which I agree with. I think even as a father, like I know when my son's gonna have like a meltdown, and so when I have to take him to his mom's house, like I preemptively like negate all the meltdown shit before we walk out that house.
I really like how you're comparing your kid to an entertainer because that's pretty much how they freaking act.
That's how they act, yeah. I know when the meltdown's coming, so I'm just like, hey man, like, you know what? You want that lollipop?
Yeah.
Mommy, get the lollipop because I'm not dropping them off with because that's not gonna work. So
Mick, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story with us about Prince.
It was an honor. It's an honor. I mean, who better to share that story with than you guys? Like, that's so cool.
Thank you. Well, we'll have to have you back on again soon, and see you till next time.
Yeah, see you. And I'm be looking for that bra.
All right, see you later.
Bye.
Bye. That is
God.
so funny. You
That
DJ'd
was
on a salad. That's
Oh
a
my
good
God.
one.
That was hilarious.
But
That was so funny. I was saying, like, I know there had to be shit that, like, with Dad, that y'all would be like, okay, before Mr. Brown come in here.
Oh, most certainly. Most certainly. Like, I can't think of anything specifically right now, but there was, you knew certain things like traveling, how he expected us to travel was always an issue.
Yeah. Which
no jeans, no tennis shoes, but you on a 12-hour flight. Right. You know what I mean? Like, you knew you couldn't, or you get sent home.
Right. Exactly.
And some people think I was so crazy, and I'm like, it's not, and it's real. It's real life. It's like you getting sent home. You show up at the airport in tennis shoes. He does not care that you're changing planes 3 times or that you for 12 hours.
Absolutely not. Is it just me, or did you freeze, Heather? I don't know if Heather froze or if it was just me. So we're going to let Heather come back in a second. And in the meantime, let's see. We might go out for a quick Prince song, and then we'll come back. We got another person, Pastor Henderson's, going to come in and talk to us for a quick moment. Let me see what Prince song I'm going to pick. I see what I want to go out to. How about this?
Okay, y'all, they're gonna mute us on Facebook.
Huh?
They're gonna mute us on Facebook if you play that.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Well, we'll stop now. Okay, so that was our little other Prince song. So Heather, we got Pastor Henderson that wants to go live with us since we've never had a chance to go live with him.
Oh, okay.
We're going to bring in Pastor Henderson before I do my little quick update. So let's see if we can get him on. Hey, Pastor Henderson.
Hi, Yama. Hi, Heather.
Hello.
How are y'all?
Good. How are you?
Are y'all staying safe in Georgia?
Yes.
Yes.
Dude, I'm inside.
I had to change our scenery. You know, we under construction of our new church in Baton Rouge, so I'm sitting outside. Yeah, I'm sitting outside of my friend Yolanda McKnight's house. So I'm thankful to Yolanda for allowing me to do this shoot outside. So how y'all been doing?
We've been doing well. Thank you for always tuning in and listening to us. We appreciate your support.
You welcome. Do you know, Yama, I know y'all were talking about the governor of Georgia was reopening on Thursday and Friday, but I know my mentor, Dr. Brian, was saying a couple of days ago, did you know that the Asian dollar stays in its community for 30 days, the Jewish community 20, the white community 17, and the black community 6 hours? And to any of our African American listeners out here, you know, when you get those stimulus checks, you know, I hope that we will invest those checks into small businesses, pay off a few bills, and take care of some other responsibilities. I just believe we have a pastor here in Central the northern part of the parish, Tony Spell, who got arrested today for holding church and trying to hit somebody with a church bus. And I just think it's just kind of irresponsible, Yama and Heather, for us to continue to have church services or even pressure our members to give money or try to support efforts right now. I just think we need to, as a church, be financially sustainable and teach our people financial sustainability.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe, like E. Dewey Smith said, that if we take care of the people, God will take care of us.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I just believe that. So, for me, I think that once the good folk found out that it was mostly African Americans dying, they just said, well, let's just go open up the economy. And so, in all reality, we're going to have people doing the electric side to the ventilators, like Dr. Brian said. They're going to be doing the electric side. And so, for those people who think that, COVID-19 is a myth, is fake news, or, not wanting to cooperate, this stuff is real.
Yeah.
And people are dying. People are losing loved ones. People on financial hardships. I know, you two are entertainers. So I'm sure y'all schedules has just been rearranged everywhere. Because, we were trying to get Heather here this year for something. And that may be in 2021. The sooner we can probably get Heather and you here. And so, for those of your listeners that are watching, just be responsible. I mean, that's my word of encouragement. Be responsible. Don't go and say I'm taking all the toilet paper towels and wipes and stuff, because
be a good citizen.
Yeah, we don't. In reality, we don't know how long this gonna be. And the other thing I want to say, because I know y'all have to go.
Mm-hmm.
Black folk need to wake up. Black folk need to wake up and go vote. Donald Trump is not playing any games, and people need to understand that. Donald Trump was trying to figure out how he about to be a president for a second term without even having to go to the polls.
Right.
And so while we out getting our nails done, making hair bows like my friend Yolanda does, and shout out to Yolanda's business, and Kimani, who does bow ties, and that's a good lucrative business for a young entrepreneur. But while we are out doing things that they are expecting us to do, especially $1,200 can go pretty quickly. Some of us, Yama, in reality, going to still remain on the unemployment line. And we have to teach our people, again, financial sustainability. That's going to be very crucial to getting out of COVID-19.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
Yeah.
I definitely agree. I appreciate you coming on and saying that, and also, just saying it to our listeners, because we really all got to keep this in perspective. It's serious. Just going back into the economy right now, as Heather and I were talking about earlier, we really don't agree with it. There's a lot of people that don't agree with it, think it's too soon. So I'm just hoping and praying that people will get the message and they'll stay home and just be smart and take a beat, like you said, because finances, if this hasn't shown you anything about your own personal finances, it probably has shown us all a lot about our personal finances. Even people that quote unquote make a lot of money, because technically when you make a lot, you spend more. So if you're not saving, it could still be the same issue. It's kind of, it's all relative. But I agree that we just need to be more diligent with teaching the next generation and just talking to each other about finances and being honest with that. So
and
again,
please go vote. Please go and vote. Go vote and go vote. I cannot stress that enough. And to the churches, those of us who have large memberships, medium-sized memberships, we need to come together and teach our people to vote and be educated. I my hat's off to Dr. Sanjay Gupta and Dr. Fauci. I've kind of taken Dr. Brian's cues, and that is, we're not going to open anything until we hear from Dr. Fauci that it's okay. And I just think that, if Dr. Fauci does not tell you it's okay, don't go open that.
It's not okay.
It's not okay. And I mean, I respect President Trump, but at the end of the day, President Trump is not an MD. And so, these news conferences that he's having, it's been completely an entertainment show. Who's going to get evicted from the White House today, basically. And so we just have to, again, my hats are off to all the medical professionals, around this country who are risking their lives, and my prayers and thoughts are with those families who have lost loved ones to COVID-19. But as Black folk, let's not get too comfortable. Let's understand that while President Trump wanted his name on the stimulus check, don't get fooled by that. Go and vote. And I'm telling you right now, if you don't vote, then don't complain about what the next 4 years is going to
No,
be like.
y'all need to vote because there's a lot of us that need y'all to vote.
Yeah,
Dang.
vote. Young people my age, 30, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, go vote.
Everybody needs to vote. That's the bottom line. If you are eligible to vote, you should be registered to vote and make sure you vote. Thank you again, Pastor Henderson, for coming on. All right, have a good week.
You do the same.
Bye-bye.
Oh, ciao. Yeah.
Well, Heather,
this was fun.
Do you want to keep on going? Are you good?
I'm cold actually now.
Any reality stuff? I've already pretty much given an update on the hydroxychloroquine. So
yeah, I don't have any reality to talk. The reality we living in right now is a reality show in itself, and I'm exhausted at this point.
Well, we appreciate you guys for tuning in to us again this week. We know it's a little different this week, but we gonna switch it up. We don't know what it's gonna look like, so we appreciate y'all for rocking with us from week to week. We'll bring y'all something. You'll be entertained, informed, and all of that good stuff. And Heather, you want to go out with anything?
Well, just make sure you guys follow us on IG, Official Soul Sisters, on Facebook, The Official Soul Sisters. We have a YouTube channel, Official Soul Sisters, and we have a lot of good interviews. So you guys ain't got nothing else to do but go watch them. So go on YouTube and check out a lot of our interviews. We interview some awesome people. So make sure you go interview and follow us on all our social media. Please be
safe.
We'll
see you next week.
Bye. Bye.